Hello, my name is Sally Pinto, and I'm the Program Director for the Yonkers NORC, Neighborhood Naturally Occurring Retirement Community. We serve seniors 60 plus in Northeast Yonkers. We are under the auspices of WJCS and the Yonkers Office for the Aging. We also have a resource specialist and a nurse on staff. We conduct virtual programming in partnership with the Yonkers Public Library on a daily basis. Enjoy the program.
Okay, so as always, props are just anything that you need. Although if you do today have like a pillow or a towel nearby, you can go ahead, and if you have a pillow, it can just be like, I'll just grab my pillow from the couch. You can keep it like this. If you have a towel, just try to roll it up a little bit. But we're gonna start laying on our backs and then have any other props that you know you might want. So, but before you come all the way to lay down, you're going to take your pillow or your rolled towel. If you have your rolled towel, you're going to roll it perpendicular to your mat. And then you're going to lay down over that blanket or pillow. So think of, if you have that blanket roll, like right about underneath your shoulder blades. And then if you have the pillow, depending on the size of the pillow, focus on trying to like lift up the heart a little bit from the floor. So as you're starting to set yourself up, remember, there's no like wrong spot. We're just trying to find a little bit of a sweet spot and just inviting a little bit more opening in the front of the chest today. And then of course, just make sure that your head can rest on the ground. And you can do whatever you'd like with the legs. And start to bring the arms out into a T. Palms facing up to the sky. Start to close your eyes or just softening through the gaze. Beginning to check in with your body today. Just beginning to notice and observe what's going on in your mind, your body, and your breath. And if your legs are bent, just go ahead and straighten your legs. So just releasing the front of the hip flexors. So we still are keeping this little opening through the heart. We're really just trying to create space in the whole front of the body here. finding 3 more rounds of breath here. After that 3rd round of breath, always moving in slow motion and yin, just start to place your feet on the floor so the knees are pointing up to the sky. And just pause when you arrive there. And begin to roll onto your right side. So you're rolling off that prop that was underneath your heart. If it's still underneath you, just gently push it aside. And you're going to keep that right arm underneath your head like a pillow. And just use your left hand to just gently hold yourself up. And you always have the option, because we're going to stay here for a little bit, you always have the option to change the arm that's on the floor, that right arm. And you can even slide an actual pillow, if it's not too far away from you, underneath your head. And have the arm straight out in front of you. I don't want you to be in a place where you're in pain. Put a pillow between your arm and your head. Try not to fall asleep. That's the goal. But I don't want you to be straining that shoulder because we are going to stay for a bit. So just take a couple more breaths to settle in here. It's okay if you feel like your hips want to roll one way. You can adjust your legs. Just allow your body to just gently settle in to a version of this fetal position. You notice that a lot of your weight is on your left hand. See if you can gently take the weight out of the hand and allow the rest of your body to find that weight again. Because you're going to reach that left arm up to the sky and then up overhead. Now that overhead might be on your ear, it might be towards your nose, it might be on the ground, just reaching up. Think like you're trying to just create space in the left armpit and gently in the left ribs. Once you find a place to pause, see if you can walk that left hand further away from the body, just creating a little bit more reach. after your next breath, see if you can reach that left arm just a little further away from the body once again. And slowly start to walk the hand in. Reach it all the way back up to the sky. Bend the elbow and let the hand just gently rest on the hip. But the elbow is still pointing up to the sky. And you'll slowly let your hand slide to your lower back. It doesn't matter where it lands at your lower back. Reconnecting with your breath here. Trying not to resist your arm wanting to release into the shape. Trying to continue to allow the whole body to release a little bit. Last breath here. So if your hand really started to fall to the right hip, I want you to bring the hand more towards your middle back. You're going to keep the palm facing out so the back of the hand is touching your back. And really gently start to roll back onto your back, but your hand is going to come to the ground. And then you're going to gently let your lower back rest on top of the hand. So let the hand come first, and then you can always adjust. You might pull the hand out a little bit. You might get there and want a little bit more, and you can kind of rock the hips so you can press the hand in. Keep the knees bent and the feet on the ground. So it's still giving that same stretch we just had a moment ago in that fetal position, except now we're also giving just a little bit of pressure to the wrist and the hand with just using our body weight, which can actually help release some of that tension in all those little tiny joints. And Of course, as always, if it's too much, you can just keep your hand out to the side and not have any weight on it at all. If anything's painful, always back up and out of it as much as you need. Just recognizing the difference in sensation from pain to unusual or discomfort. Sometimes when you sit with it for a moment, you realize that it's just the shape your body is not used to, but then you're able to release some of that uncomfortableness. Just a couple more breaths. I'm not going to stay here too long. Last breath here. And then just gently roll your hips a little bit to the right so you can take your hand out. And let both arms come by your side. And maybe even take a moment. Allow the sensation to come back in that left hand. Observe your right to your left. Just kind of check in what's going on. And then we're going to do all of the same stuff to the other side. So just start to roll onto your left side, coming into a fetal position. And again, you can stay laying on the arm as a pillow. You can add an actual pillow. And just kind of allow the body to find its center of gravity. Notice if the weight is really shifting into your right hand. And make sure that the weight isn't relying on your right hand to hold you up. Because you're going to slowly start to reach the right arm up to the sky. And then reach it up overhead. So again, that overhead might be at your ear, it might be at your face. The hand might just come onto the ground a little bit in front of you, but up. Think as if you're trying to just create more space in the ribs and in the armpit area. Take the next breath and then feel like you're trying to walk your right fingertips a little bit further away from the body. Taking the next couple of breaths to maybe reach a little bit deeper before we come out of this shape. Nice and slow, start to walk the hand all the way back in. Reach the arm back up to the sky. And start to bend the elbow, let the hand come onto the hip. And then allow the hand to slide towards your lower back. So again, it doesn't matter how far it goes. Think like you're just trying to gently open the front of your right shoulder. A few more rounds of breath here. So again, you're gonna keep your hand where it's at. Make sure the back of the hand is on the lower back. And you might even slide the hand closer towards your middle back. or even the right side of your back as you slowly start to roll all the way over to come to gently lay on your hand. So you are just creating a little bit of pressure with the weight of your body. Always play with where the hand is at, finding a sweet spot. It might feel a little unusual when we first arrive because we don't normally sit on our hands like this. Reconnecting with your breath. More rounds of breath here. Then just gently rock the hips a little bit to the left so you can slide the hand out. Let the arms come out by the side. Just taking a few moments to just observe, allow the sensations to come back. Take a deep breath here. And then just like we did before, you're gonna roll to a side. It doesn't matter which one, because you're gonna keep rolling all the way onto your belly. Make a pillow with the hands, and then just pause. Again, you can always use an actual pillow, but we're not gonna be here that long, so don't get too comfy. You might even bend the knees when you get there and kind of windshield wiper it in our back and our side all of class so far. So just allowing that to rinse. Start to lift up just your upper body, coming into a Sphinx pose. So just coming onto your forearms with your fingertips pointing forward. Your elbows can be underneath your shoulders, or the elbows can be a little bit forward of your shoulders. Just finding a place where you do have to kind of put a little bit of action in so that way you don't fall all the way forward. And then just let your head drop. Let your chin come to your chest. And then nice and slow, start to lift your head up. So just with your eyes, you'll just keep bringing your gaze to a new spot a little bit ahead of you. And then doing the same thing, coming back down. So just slowly let your gaze drop. And let your head come back down. If at any point you start feeling dizzy or you know the movement of your head like this makes you feel a little bit lightheaded, I want you to just keep your gaze in one spot and your neck in a neutral position. We're going to do it just one more time. So if you're moving and you're feeling okay, just slowly start to lift your head up. And then release your head down. Everybody start to find a neutral position with your head. And your neck. Press into your hands so you can lift your elbows up off of the mat for just a moment so you can slide your right arm underneath your left and then slide your left arm in front of your right. So I'm putting that right arm underneath my left and my left arm in front of my right. So maybe I'm crossing at the elbows. Maybe I'm somewhere at the forearms. My palms are probably up and they might be a little bit more forward, or I might kind of hug them in a little bit. And then I'll start to drop my head. So I might feel like I'm putting a little bit of action into my elbows. So that way I don't completely splay forward onto the ground, and that's okay. Even when we have to use a little bit of active engagement in our yin poses, we still want to try to see how much we can let go while still putting in just as much as we need to hold it. The most important thing here in this bow tie pose is that I'm focusing on pressing my shoulder blades apart. I just want to create a little bit of more breathing room right around my spine at the level of my shoulder blades. Last breath here. Nice and slow, start to uncross your arms. Don't let your arms come by your side and turn one cheek to the mat. Doesn't matter which one. Bring your head back to center and turn your other cheek to the mat. Now bring your head back to center and prop yourself up back onto your forearms. You're gonna thread the other side. So this time, before we thread, start to let your chin come to your chest and feel like you're trying to press your shoulder blades apart. Now you're not gonna be able to go that far. So think of this as like a cat pose. You might hug your belly in a little bit. And then start to turn it into a cow and feel your heart come a little bit more forward. So it might feel a little weird. We're basically doing some cat cows from this Sphinx pose. Round the spine. Lift through the belly. And then pull the heart forward. Really small movements. Focusing on the movement in the shoulder blades. Let's do one more. Then press your hands into the ground, lift the elbows up off of the mat. And this time you'll thread your left arm underneath your right, and then your right arm in front of your left. And again, it could be at your elbows. You might cross at the forearms. You might be really close to you or a little bit further away. Probably going to feel different from side to side, even though it is just a subtle difference. And you can release your head. Little active in the elbows to hold yourself up, but trying to let go and release everywhere else. Reconnecting with your breath. Just a couple more rounds of breath here. slowly start to unwrap the arms and come all the way back onto your belly. You can make a pillow with your hands or turn one cheek to the mat, yogi's choice. You can even bend your knees and just let the knees and feet gently rock from side to side. And slowly start to peel yourself up off the floor. This is going to be the biggest move of class. So I want you to come all the way back into a child's pose. So you might even pause in your tabletop and just kind of move the body around a little bit. We've been reclined all of class. And then just start to press your hips back to your heels and let your upper body come forward. And you can throw in a pillow or blanket underneath your chest, behind your knees. You can do whatever you want with the arms here too. Last few rounds of breath here. Slowly start to lift yourself up just enough so you can come all the way back onto your back. Now, if you know you like to put your feet up something for your Shavasana, we're heading there in a couple of minutes, but make sure you have yourself near that thing already. So whether it's a couch or a chair or the wall, you can just come all the way onto your back. And take a couple of moments when you first arrive on your back to move around as much or as little as your body craves. then just give yourself a little hug. Hug the knees gently into the chest. You can just kind of hold on to your hands. Maybe rock the hips a little bit. Just have a little massage of the lower back. And then start to extend your legs out in front of you. Arms fall by your side. You can, at this point, throw your legs up a wall or on top of a chair or a couch. Just finding a place where the body can soften and release. Taking these last few minutes of class in complete and total gratitude for your practice today. Shavasana. And slowly starting to bring some awareness back into the space. And starting to bring some awareness back into the body. Wiggling your fingers and your toes. Rolling out wrists and ankles. And rocking your head from side to side. Stretching your arms up overhead and slowly rolling on to your right side as you hug your knees into your chest. And using the strength of your arms, beginning to press yourself up, coming into a comfortable seat and keeping the focus inside. Bringing your hands to your heart center, gently bow your head. Thank yourself for making it to your mat today, for your practice, for your energy, for your breath, and most importantly, for yourself. Namaste.
Hi, everyone. This is Z from Yonkers Public Library. Thanks so much to Sally Pinto and Alexis from Newark. Thank you to our community partners, WJCS, the City of Yonkers Office for the Aging, Friends of Crestwood Library, and Yonkers Public Library for making this phenomenal partnership. And we thank each and every one of you for being part of our wellness community. Be well, stay well.